Hello, traders. FX Pip Collector here. Today is Tuesday, January 14th, and we're going to be taking a look at the US dollar pairs, including gold, and we're going to take a look at a few of the JPY pairs. We're going to start off with the US dollar index because for me, that is definitely a roadmap to figuring out what to do on all the US dollar pairs themselves. But first, if you haven't done so already, definitely check out my free Discord trading community. The link for that is at the end of this video and in the description of the video. 100% free to join. Never had to pay a dime if you do not want to. If you would like to join my membership, then you do that by joining through my website, fxpipcollector.com. And it is only $30 a month. I keep it very, very cheap because I'm not looking to get rich from my membership. I'm looking to get rich from my trading. So if you get all the benefits listed below, for only $30 per month. So anyways, let's start off on the US dollar index. I mean, I like to analyze the heck out of the US dollar index because if you know that the dollar is going to go up for months, then you can pretty much plan the exact same move on the dollar pairs for the most part. Now, I definitely am still looking at this as potentially three waves up. I still think it looks like three waves down. I still think it looks like a five-wave pattern to the upside. Now, this is right here, I think, is a wave A. I think this is all a wave B here in the middle. And I still think eventually it's going to go down for a wave C. Now, we are definitely at the 78% Fibonacci retracement on the wave A. We're also pretty close to the 123% Fibonacci extension of the wave A of B, projected out the bottom of the B of B. So our price target is pretty much there. We are pretty much right at our price target. But in my opinion, my time target is really not met yet. And what I mean by that is I don't think, even though we're pretty much at the price that I expected this could turn, I think it's more likely that we're probably going to see a couple more weeks of price action before we really do get the break of structure and the real turn that we've been waiting for. Probably going to end up doing something like this over here, spending a few weeks making a 3, 4, 5 shape and then giving us the big break of structure we're waiting for. So anyways, let's move on to the euro dollar. Pretty much if you know what the US dollar is going to do, then you pretty much know exactly what to expect on all the US dollar pairs. Now we are definitely in a downtrend on the US dollar. No signs of the downtrend being over. For me, the daily time frame is not going to confirm that the downtrend is over until we get a break of this structure. Until this structure right here breaks, any moves we see to the upside definitely could be just another correction to the downtrend. This could easily go up to a Fibonacci retracement level and keep on trending down. If it's going to do what I think the dollar is going to do, then it's probably going to make like a wave four and then a wave five, and then a few weeks from now, we'll get the real turn that we've been waiting for. So taking it down to the 1 hour time frame. So on the 1 hour time frame, we definitely did get a break of structure to the upside on the 1 hour. So we can say with a pretty decent amount of confidence that this move down right here is over. So we put our Fibonacci retracement on that move and we observe to see if it makes an a B, and a C like this up to any one of these Fibonacci retracement levels on this post down, and then we observe to see if there's a break of structure to the downside at a Fibonacci level, and if there is, I definitely would take it as another short. But now that we got the break on these sort of time frames, if you do trade the short time frames, which I definitely don't, then you could potentially be looking for longs at the end of a pullback. If you see a pullback, then it's either wave B or wave two, and you could go long for either a wave C or a wave three. If it does just keep on going and never gives you a break of structure, then it's obviously a 1, 2, 3, and we potentially would have a bigger turn on the higher time frames. I'm really not convinced that we have a bigger turn on the higher time frames, so I would still be looking at anything I see to the upside as very likely as just another correction to the last push down. So let's move on to the pound dollar. Pound has been very, very weak. And most of the reason why the pound is not going down so strong, if you look at other pound pairs, is because of the pound, not just because of the dollar. All the pound pairs have been moving down very strong. So we are definitely in a big downtrend until we see a significant higher low or preferably a break of structure, which is way up here to the upside. The trend is down and there's no signs of the trend being over, and it could easily continue to make lower high, lower high, lower high, and just continue the downtrend. So going right down to the 1 hour time frame. 1 hour time frame, technically it did kind of break structure to the upside. So we probably do we can say, just like on the euro dollar, with confidence that this move down right here is likely over. But just because that move down is likely over doesn't mean that this right here is not going to be another, oops, ABC correction to the last push down. Hold on a second, let me get this pen figured out. There we go. So that doesn't mean that this may not end up being another ABC correction to the downtrend. You got to zoom out a little bit in order to see my Fibonacci levels, but this very easily could be a wave A. This could be now in a wave B, which would be a correction to the wave A, and it could go up for a wave C. If you are a very short time frame trader, you could try to go long at the end of the wave B for the wave C, but be very cautious because the momentum is down on literally every single time frame. The reason why I'm not really too interested in looking for longs is because even though the momentum is up on the 1 hour, every single higher time frame it's down, which means it could easily keep going down. Until we get that breaker structure on the higher time frames, our roadmap is telling us that we need to primarily be looking for shorts, preferably at the end of ABC corrections, preferably at the end of three-way pullbacks, and Fibonacci retracement levels. So let's keep going to the Aussie dollar. Pretty much, like I said, all the dollar pairs are pretty much the same story. And once you figure out what the US dollar is doing, you can kind of know what all the other dollar pairs are doing. We definitely had a pretty bullish day yesterday. Today is looking a little on the bullish side also. But until we break this structure or make a significant higher low, we cannot say that the higher time frames are down, are not in a downtrend anymore. Just like the other pairs, this could just be a correction to this move down. It could make a lower high, it could make a lower high, and it could keep going down. The trend is your friend as always. So going down to the 1 hour time frame, we definitely do have a break on the 1 hour. But notice that this move up right here definitely looks like a trend. This is probably either a wave A or wave one, which there's no signs of it even being over because we don't have a breakdown yet. So basically, it could drift up some more. Eventually, hopefully, it'll make a correction, like a pullback to the wave A or one, meeting a wave B or two, then probably back up for a wave C or a wave three. If it really is a 1, 2, 3, then it may bounce from fib levels, but it will not break structure to the downside. But it will just keep on making higher highs, higher lows. Like potentially it would go down and then up, bounce, no break of structure, and just keep on going. If it really is an ABC, then potentially it would go up to a fib level, give you like a double top, give you a bigger structure, and give you another sorting opportunity. So hopefully you can learn and earn at the same time whether this is an ABC or whether it really is a 1, 2, or 3. I don't really analyze the Kiwi dollar. I will trade the Kiwi dollar, but it's literally exactly the same as the Aussie dollar. It's almost exactly the same analysis. Moving on to the US dollar Canadian. US dollar Canadian was a really good trade for us last week, and I still no signs of it being in a downtrend. Unfortunately, I can't really move my structure up to here because we don't have a new high yet. The last high is right here, which is why I have to keep my structure here. If we break this structure, then we definitely do have a change of direction on the daily. Otherwise, any movement we see to the downside, just like the other pairs, could be nothing more than a correction to the last move up. So we have to be very cautious about going short yet, at least. So going down to the 1 hour time frame, I like to zoom out on the 1 hour so I get a higher time frame perspective. So I have my Fibonacci retracement on this last push up right here. As you can see, this move down right here is pretty impulsive. So I would think that there would probably be at least another push down, probably at least another A, B, and a C, or maybe even a 1, a 2, and a 3, just like all the other dollar pairs, but in reverse. If it really is a 1, 2, 3, then it will not break structure. It'll just keep going down. If it's a ABC, then it will go to any one of these fib levels, break structure, and then reverse back into the higher time frame uptrend. I personally am definitely still looking for longs at the end of three-way pullbacks and Fibonacci bounces. Basically, on every single dollar pair, I'm still looking for trades with the trend. Heading down to the US dollar Swiss. Now, I think that we're either in a wave A or wave one on the dollar Swiss. Most wave A's or wave ones are traded exactly the same, which is looking for logs at sort of time frames. So it's really not that important to know whether it's a wave A or wave one. Eventually, once the wave A or wave one is over, it should go down and make a cut into this move up, which would be a wave B or a wave two. How do you trade a wave B? You look for shorts on shorter time frames. How do you trade a wave two? You look for shorts on shorter time frames. It really doesn't matter to me whether this is an A or one, B or two. or 3 or C until we get about 2/3 through that third wave, which would be either a wave C or potentially a wave 3. So anyways, let's take it down to the 1 hour time frame. One thing to keep in mind is most wave A's and wave 1s do take out the high of the wave 4 in the previous move, which we have not quite done yet. Anyways, going down to the 1 hour time frame is where I got my Fibonacci retracement on the last push up. Just like the other dollar pairs, we did get a breakdown, but that doesn't mean anything to me beyond the fact that we might just be in another correction to the uptrend. If we get another Fibonacci bounce, especially if it's 3 waves down, what I would like to see is something like this, 1, 2, 3 waves down to a Fibonacci level and then a break to the upside. If I see that picture right there, you better believe that I will be going long again, just like at the end of this 3-way pullback, this 3-way pullback, this 3-way pullback, this 3-way pullback. I will continue to look for longs at the end of every single 3-way pullback I see until the higher roadmap timeframes tell me otherwise. So let's move on to gold. Probably a favorite of most people except for mine, to be honest with you. So I am short on gold. I'm still holding my sword. I still see several options here. I still see the option that this could just be another pullback within an uptrend, and then we're still in a wave B. And then it goes up, takes out all these highs, and then goes down and makes the big wave C that we're waiting for the A, B, C of 4 from the weekly time frame. I was actually still kind of hoping though that this was already making 3 waves up and that this was like a 1, this was a 2, and this just goes down for wave 3, 4, 5 of wave C. I was still kind of hoping that that was correct, but there's definitely no break of structure to the downside on the daily, and really we have no proof that it really is doing something like that. So we had to be a little bit cautious about thinking that that was going to happen. Going down to the 1 hour time frame, this move down looks pretty impulsive. So I would expect to see more movement down. I would love to see 3 waves up to a Fibonacci retracement level like an ABC and then an impulsive turn. Then if it goes down, makes a higher low, turns back up, then you definitely want to get out of your shorts and go long. Or if it does decide to go down and really start breaking structure and really become very impulsive down on the daily, then I would just hold on to my longs. But short time frame traders, just be aware that it probably is going to pop up again before it potentially goes down. And I will hold on to my short because I'm not a short time frame trader. Really don't even trade the 1 hour. I trade the higher time frames than that. So I would assume that this is a or 1. I would assume that this is a B or 2, and I would like to see either a 3 or a C come next. If it's a 3, it'll just keep on making lower lows, lower highs. If it's a C, then it'll probably bounce off a fib level, make a higher low, and give you a break of structure to the upside. So moving on to the dollar yen. Dollar yen, definitely in an uptrend, definitely no break of structure to the downside. If you've been watching my recent videos, you know that I say that this could be a wave B, but it also could be the continuation of the uptrend and it could make new highs on the weekly. How would I trade this if I knew it was a wave B? I'd be looking for longs on shorter time frames. How would I trade this if I knew it was going to just continue the uptrend on the higher time frames? I would be looking for longs on shorter time frames. It's another one of those situations where I don't really care what the Elliott wave count is necessarily, because either scenario, it's exactly the same trading strategy until we get a break of structure to the downside telling us that we have a change of direction. So going down to the 1 hour time frame, now, to me, it definitely did make 5 waves down, so it could be a wave, just like the other dollar pairs. Really, it could be a wave A or a wave 1. I got my Fibonacci retracement on this move down. It could be either wave B or wave 2. If we get a Fibonacci bounce and a break of structure, then I definitely would be going short, and then hopefully learning whether it's a wave C, which would probably make a higher low, break back up and continue the uptrend, or I would learn whether it's a wave 3, which a wave 3 would not break structure, but instead it would break the daily structure, and it would prove that we have a change of direction on the daily time frame. So it's another one of those circumstances where hopefully we can learn and earn at the same time, whether it's an ABC or whether it's a 1, 2, 3, which is pretty much the same story for every single one of these US dollar pairs. Moving on to the euro yen. I'm still really not convinced that this wave B is over on the euro yen. I still think there's a good chance this is an ABC correction. I still think there's a good chance it's going to go up and grab these highs before it actually continues back down. so that we potentially are still in a wave A. This is a wave B, and potentially we would get an A, B, C, or B. So this would be like the C of B. And then we would turn down for the much bigger wave C. So if it breaks and holds below structure, then I'll definitely change my scenario and say that we're already going down, but it hasn't done that. So I think there's a good chance it might keep going up. And it kind of looks to me like it might have already ended the correction. I mean, I definitely see one, two, three waves down. I definitely see impulsive up, and I definitely see breaks of structure. So I would be looking for longs right now on pullbacks. I got my Fibonacci retracement here, looking for areas of resistance at or support at Fibonacci levels, because if it does, bounce from a fib level and then go down, make a three-way pullback, and then an impulsive up, Fibonacci retracement of this move, then I will definitely be getting to the long side because that would potentially be a 1, 2, and a wave 3, which would be an excellent trade if we could get in at the beginning of a wave 3 because wave 3s are supposed to be the biggest, strongest wave of a trend. Now, the pound yen went down very, very strong, and most of the reason why the pound yen went down very strong, just like the dollar, the pound dollar, and all the other pound pairs, is because the pound has made a very bearish move on all the pound pairs. Now, we definitely do have a break of structure. We do definitely have a possible change of direction, and this possibly now could just be trending down. So I definitely suggest looking for shorts on sort of time frames. But be very cautious because this also could still be an ABC. If we get a Fibonacci bounce and a break, it could still end up continuing back up. Because like I said, this big bearish move down is more of a pound move, not a yen move. The yen could kick back in and drive this all the way back up, following along with the other yen pairs. Going down to the 1 hour time frame, we definitely do have breaks up on the 1 hour time frame. So I would suggest if you are a short time frame trader to look for longs. If not, and you see something like this, you see an ABC shape up to any Fibonacci level with an impulsive down, then definitely go short. If it continues to make impulsive movements up and giving you breaks of structure, then this right here likely really is the end of the correction and it really is back into the upside on the higher time frames. But now we have to assume that any moves we see to the upside, because we got a break on the daily, is likely just a correction to the last wave down. So we need to assume that this is probably going to be an ABC correction. And if you go long at the end of a wave B and it just goes and goes and goes and makes a wave 3 instead of a wave C, then that's kind of going to be a bonus trade in the long run. So that's kind of another example of hopefully where we can learn and earn at the same time, whether this is an ABC or whether this is a 1, a 2, and a wave 3. So as far as all these other pairs are concerned, I do analyze every single pair on this list, including all the dollar pairs and everything you see on the list for my members every single day. We do 4 Zoom meetings a week. I do share every single trade I take with the members with stop losses and take profits. I really do not like to consider it a trade signal service because I do believe that the only way anybody is ever going to make their trading goals realize their trading goals is if they take their own entries. But hopefully, while you're learning the trade by following along my trading course, attending my Zoom meetings, hopefully you can learn and earn at the same time by following along with some of my trades. So if you are interested in that, check out my website, fxpipcollector.com. If you just want to join my free Discord community, which currently has about 5,700 members, then check that out because it is 100% free. And I would love to build a community of like-minded traders that are willing to help each other out. So check that out. The link is at the end of this video and in the description also. So anyways, as always, thank you for watching and happy trading.